Good morning.
Good morning. It's Woowoo Wednesday again.
It came very quickly.
It did. It did. It's like, wow, feels like we just finished up last week and we're back again.
Mm-hmm.
You
Here we
know,
are.
yeah.
Not
Um,
so bright-eyed, not so bushy-tailed, but we're here.
Drinking the coffee, um, doing some Wednesday morning things. We're gonna talk about the Knickerbocker Hotel in Linesville, PA.
Yep.
I didn't realize it was as close to me as it was because it says what, like the upper northwestern corner of PA? Because PA
Right.
is huge,
Yeah,
freaking
it's not
big.
a far drive at all from either of us. So.
Okay, like we might have to go do some things.
I
Hey,
would definitely go back again.
hey, chair, and Amy.
Hello.
Um, well, Amy, you can actually watch last week. It's still up. We can't answer those questions live for you, but you can always go watch it. Um, we had pictures from Bonaventure Cemetery down out of Georgia, thanks to Melanie. So that one was interesting.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, the Knickerbocker, and it's fun to say.
It is.
um, Now, you and I were just talking, Kayla, trying to do some research, and I'm frustrated. I'm like, they don't even have a website by themselves. It's everybody else who makes a blog or something.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned you found out about it from a colleague that you didn't even know it was a thing. So,
Back in 2016. I can't believe that's almost 10 years ago. When I was going through stuff, I'm like, holy crap.
right. Now, how did this colleague entice you to go into this unknown haunted place? Like, besides cookies and the dark side?
Place. Road trip.
Really?
New place. It really doesn't take much. It really does not take much. I'd be really hard to kidnap though. My DNA samples are all around the world, so no ideas. Any creeps out there? Um, so this colleague had told me about some stuff. He knew the owner, had met the owner somewhere. Good morning. Um, so of course, I wanted to go check it out, see my own take on it, that kind of thing. We spent the night there. I can't remember if it was one night or 2 nights. For some reason, I'm feeling like it was 2 nights that we were there, but I can't really remember. Because we did like some personal like hanging out, doing stuff while we were there too with the owner. I don't know. Maybe they're not even doing investigations anymore. I don't see why she wouldn't be, to be honest. But I mean, life changes, so. Um, I do know it was a pretty busy place for a while. It looked like some of the stuff looks like it was just last year, I believe. I don't know if I came across anything from this year. But I do know my personal experiences, and I would absolutely love to go back again for sure.
I mean, seeing as how it's so close to us, I mean, I feel like that would be a fun, you know, friend weekendcation.
Right.
Um, I'm all for. I like old buildings and the architecture.
There's a
Um,
good pie place next door too, or like down the street or something. I just remember there was good pie close by.
you can't go wrong with a good pie. Now, what kind of stories were you being told that happen at this place?
I didn't get much detail. There was a common theme with our trips to go to paranormal places, which if we want to talk about other ones down the line, we can also. It was always, we're going to go to this place. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, and I just want you to see what you pick up before we get there. I was like, oh, fun. So sometimes it's nice to get a little bit of information, or know what's going on. So the day before we left, I was told that it was going to be the Knickerbocker. I don't believe I found much on it, but I also am not great at doing research anyway. I mean, if I want to, I will, but for the most part, I'm just like, we'll wing it, see what happens when I'm there. That's just kind of my thing. So it was really cool to actually go experience it. It's always really cool when you like kind of picture a place and you walk in, you're like, this looks familiar. Feel like I've been here before. So really, really neat place because I was just told there's different things that weren't, there's paranormal things, but there are also things that weren't spirit things that were paranormal there. And I was like, of course, super intrigued, right? With the realms and dimensions and planes and planets and all this stuff. I'm like, awesome. Gotta go check this out. So that was actually the majority of what was going on for our personal adventure and exploration in the place. We did do a paranormal event and a seance while we were there, which was nowhere near as active as the time when it was like more mellow and just us hanging out with the owner and doing our own thing. And just kind of like, because we were there, I'm pretty sure it was 2 days, because we were just like kind of hanging out doing stuff, or like would go to talk to somebody, and it was just really neat. So I don't know how much detail you want me to get into yet about the spaces and what went on. Oh, we can't hear you.
Forgot I muted myself while I was like typing, so you guys wouldn't hear, clickety clacking. I've been sitting here trying to find a like royalty-free picture of the front of the building, and like that's even hard to find.
I had my face in front of the building. Did I send you that one?
No, I've got the
okay.
doll and the other two. So if you want to send that over, we'll convert it.
I mean, it's not much of the building. It's the sign of when she reopened it herself. So it's not like, the whole front of the building. But it's royalty free because it is my face right there with the building. Right, so
right. It'll be like Bubba Kayla on the screen. Amy said, Amy's like, I think it's better to wing it. That way you don't know what to expect.
I agree.
And I like that method too, because you don't have like your imagination already trying to come up with something that you're expecting to happen.
Or somebody else's stories, because I'm pretty sure we've all been to places where other people have made up stories or expect you to follow their stories that they have, and that's just not my thing either. Like, I'm still a skeptic until I am proven otherwise, myself, personally, directly. Not always the best choice in life, but that's what I do. So, but yeah, I definitely agree. It's kind of good to go in blind and figure it out after that. So just let me pull. I'm just trying to find that picture. So one of the cool things there, so a lot of people have donated, or like gifted, I should say, dolls to the owner, Peg. So some of them have like paranormal things. Some of them have just kind of like picked up paranormal energies being there, or entities that have come through. Hello. Well, are we all humans? I think that was a loaded statement there.
That's an assumption.
Right. I did catch that title. No. Did it come through?
It did. Now I've got to save to phone, send to laptop, convert to. So give me a minute. Continue.
I was trying to not have my face like plastered in front of the building. I went to go send it to you, and I was like, that's just my face right up front. But that's the best I got of the sign and the kind of front awning of the building. Mm-hmm. So we did have a little bit of spirit activity during the investigation with the people, with the seance. Nothing super intense, friendly stuff. It was good stuff. The bigger things that happened were, this place is incredible as far as going through like portals and timelines into different places at the same time. So the owner at the time did live there. Not sure if she still does. Again, not sure if they're still doing things. So we chose to stay in each a different room of the haunted part of the hotel. She has like a whole live-in area that she was in, but we got to go back and forth between that. There was areas you could cut down back into her kitchen, that kind of stuff. So it was just kind of like a free-for-all for us, which was like awesome. And a few different times we would be in the same hallway, like yelling for the other person, like, where are you? Hey, what's going on? And this colleague's daughter actually came with us too. So it was her first like big investigation. And so like at one point we couldn't find her, but she couldn't find us. And we were literally all like in the same place at the same time, but couldn't hear each other or see each other. I was looking for the owner at one point, went into her apartment area. I was like, oh, maybe she's in the bathroom. I'm like, no, okay, she's not in there. She's not in she has like awesome big closet. I'm like, okay, she's not in there. So I'm like yelling for her. She was in her room. I had walked through there looking for her. She wasn't there. She's like, I didn't hear you. I didn't see you. She's like, did you hear the music? I was playing music. I'm like, no. I said, but the light turned off. She goes, oh, I left the music playing, turned the light off, and went to go get in the shower. So I was like literally in her space when this happened with, the lights were on, turned off. I didn't hear music, but I saw the light turn off when she left her room to go to take a shower. So like really, really cool things would happen there. Downstairs, it didn't happen so much. It was upstairs. There was a lot of things going on, and the staircase. You didn't really feel it. I've been other places where you can feel that you go through like a portal. You can feel that you went through like a ley line. Those kind, like a lot of times you can feel a different energy or a pulling on you, some sort of sensation. This was just total normal every day. Like I'm covering that up on this side. Like everybody else can tell that I'm covering my face out of it. Should put an emoji over my face too. So a lot of times you can feel these things. Here you couldn't. You were just going about your day talking to somebody and they weren't there. I mean, they were there, but they were in like a whole other place. So we each had our 3 different rooms. 2 of the rooms shared a bathroom. At one point, supposedly me and his daughter were in the bathroom at the same point. Never saw her. No encounter of it. She had no encounter, no sensation, no anything about it. So just a really neat experience. That's one of the cool things. So like, yeah, there's spirit activity, but this place is incredible as far as being able to be in different places, same place, same time, different time. Like it's just a lot there.
Would it be more of like a plane shift versus
Yeah, so
timeline?
I believe it was like a plane shift because it wasn't really like realm or dimension. And like I said, you didn't feel it. Like a lot of times, realms and dimensions, you can feel a big difference between what they are, like where you're going. And you sense things. There wasn't direct spirit or entity contact with any of that either. It was just that. But it was really neat that you could literally be going through the building. With people, away from people. There's time, like you could literally be at one point we were walking together in the big hallway in the upstairs. We were talking about the rooms with the dolls. We were talking about different things that happened to them, different things that we're seeing. We were doing like more investigative type things. I chose to break off to go to another room, and the colleague stayed in the hallway. I came back and like, where the heck did he go? So I went to each room looking for him. Nothing. He's like, I've been sitting here the whole time. Like when we were back downstairs, he's like, I just came down here because like I don't know what you were doing. And I was like, well, I don't know. I was calling for you. You weren't there. So it's like you go downstairs basically to like regroup and get your things back together. It didn't make you feel sick. It didn't cause any issues. It was just you literally would separate. And next thing you know, you're like on a whole different plane in a different place. It was really cool. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anybody else has experienced that. Has anybody else been there? It was a pretty cool thing.
I mean, I obviously haven't yet. Oh, good question. Did it affect your dream pattern?
Nope. But it is a really good question because a lot of times doing those kind of things can change your dreams. It can change your sleep. I sleep really lightly anyway, so it didn't change anything for me when I was there. I've slept at quite a few paranormal locations. Usually my protection kind of keeps things away anyway. Me and Melissa have talked about that a few times. We tend to be the like fun wreckers for that because like we're just naturally protected. It just keeps stuff away. But it didn't change anything for me. But what did happen is you can definitely feel when the energy would start to build up in the location. And we were also doing a photo set for this colleague. And I did lose a lot of pictures. I don't have a lot of pictures of things from there because I got electrocuted by my digital camera. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. There's so many things that I feel like I'm probably leaving out because it was 10 years ago almost. There's an age thing there, I guess, right? So, I mean, the big part of it for us was that because a lot of the people when we did the investigation didn't get to experience that part of it and how intense it was. They were more there to look for spirit, talk to dead people, that kind of thing. There was a story about a witch in that area. I don't remember the whole story. The owner told us that, and she told me very briefly just because of the person that I was there with already knew. So I got like a really quick rundown of everything. And then, again, like basically off to your own, you're a psychic medium, go figure this out on your own, and which was great. So one of the pictures, if you can put that up, I had the original darker one and then the lighter one. This was at night. Nobody else was there. Besides the owner and us 3. His daughter was actually watching TV downstairs, and we decided we'll do this photo shoot for another event he had coming up. So if you look at the top above the ceiling fan, so there is a little glow on the ceiling, but there's a light over to the right-hand side. So ignore that. That's not what we're talking about. The white shape that actually looks like a witch flying in a broom, ironically. I got electrocuted. I took that picture. Now, so the curtain looks lit up over there also. no cars would be going by where that area if you could go. So like there's the main front entrance where you go in where my face was in the picture. That's not where this was. This was like basically parking lot side. You wouldn't see that. And I mean, somebody would have had to like plow over our cars to be able to have their headlights there. So we were doing these pictures. It was actually pretty still, almost eerily still, but it was good after a busy day. I all of a sudden got super shocked by my camera to the point I dropped it. It went up both my arms. I felt it go up my neck, tighten up my jaw. And this is what appeared in the pictures. So the pictures before this, which I was trying to find, but I can't. And this picture, so the pictures before this, there's nothing in there. This is the only picture that has it, and that was when I got electrocuted by my camera. We have a common theme here with me and cameras. I don't know if it's just me or if it's the places I go with the camera, but it just happened when I was in Maine. Well, I didn't get electrocuted. I just lost a bunch of pictures. So this appeared. So I don't know if anybody wants to chime in about that either, or what they think it is, see what it is. But we definitely feel like it was the legend of the witch that was there. And it was very, very bright, like very bright. You can see the lamp over to the right-hand side and the glow that's making in the ceiling. That's just normal light. So that was our really cool, no way to fully explain it as like, as far as debunk it, and pretty intense experience.
No, I'm sorry. Did you say whether or not that camera was functional after that?
Not so much. So it started working about a week later. The rest of the trip, no, it did not work. It was just kind of, it would make noises, didn't do anything. The screen on it was black. It was a DSLR camera. So it didn't want to focus. It didn't want to do anything. And like a week later, I decided to try it just because, partially because I was bummed. I like to do other photography, like nature photography. So I was kind of bummed that my camera just died. And it was working totally fine. So it would focus, it would do everything it was supposed to do, the screen work, back to normal. But it definitely was not having it after that, or even up until when I checked it again. So
and then this was the original darkened. You lightened it up to like
just for this, yeah.
And that little squiggle there. Okay, that's that little lamp over there. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would still like to go.
So, and if you look like the way the ceiling fan is up at the picture, it's easier in the lightened one. So you see, it's like not something before the ceiling fan. It's like over the border of the wall, but it's between the ceiling fan. Like it's not, it's like not an object, right? It's not something that we put there. It's not light. It's not reflecting on anything else. It's just there over. I mean, it's there in the middle. So.
Right. Now, did anybody else have, besides like the different planes, different dimensions, like did anybody else have any like certain types of experiences outside of?
So there's, I sent over the Asian doll, right?
Yeah, and let me put her picture up.
So I didn't send you a ton of pictures because a couple of pictures that I do have are my face holding these things, right? Like I was talking with them and holding them while I was talking to them. So I didn't think we needed that much of my face on here. She has been seen to actually walk around that room and talk with people. So I personally didn't have that experience there. But a lady did yell while we were doing the investigation. Well, she yelped, I should say, because it did move and tip over, but like it didn't tip. Nobody bumped into the bed. It just like tipped over on its own. We, on our own time, put that dog there, which I will, if we go through some of the other investigations I've been part of with this same colleague, there's a lot with this dog that has happened. It's been an inappropriate little doggy, even though it's one of those Fisher Price play with your kids things. And in another location in Ohio, it moved a lot. So the whole body, it talked different than what it should have. So we started just kind of taking that with us just because some spirit likes to play with it, whether they're children or adults. It gives them a way to communicate with things.
Oh, so Amy knows and can vouch, like there's certain things it can and should not be doing.
Right.
I had one.
Yes.
Now,
so,
Was the dog saying inappropriate things and everything here with the doll, or was it more just kind of quiet and still?
No, so after people left, I was holding the dog. This was at this location. I was holding the dog. My friend goes to hand me something. I put the dog between my legs, right, just to hold it so I had both hands free. And the dog goes, "It's learning time." Well, it's between my legs. Said nothing for a long time until, and I didn't like squeeze it. And I believe it's its bottom paw. I don't know. I think it's when you turn it on, like there's a thing that turns it on. I wasn't like squeezing it. I was literally just like resting it there so I had both hands free. And it yelled, "It's learning time," to which we all burst out laughing because it was just awkward. But that, it didn't really do anything the rest of the time we were there. That was it. And there was no reason for it to really do that. I mean, not something I did by any means. The little doll next to that one, nothing. There's some porcelain dolls that people have had issues with there. I felt like they were fine. Sometimes people have doll fear in general. I know there's a term for that and I'm not thinking of it. So if you know it, feel free to pop it up there. The fear of dolls. So there was just, I'm trying to pull up. The stairwell had some cool things going on that, more to the spirit effect of like people, you could hear people walking up and down it. However, if you were in certain areas, like you and I both have lived in houses where you hear people walking around all the time and it's like a normal thing. It was just like with us as humans walking through the other parts of the building, like where you would hear them and all of a sudden you'd go in another room and it would just stop. Like you couldn't hear it at all. And then you would be in a different place. So it's almost like spirit, like past living people and us are all going through these different planes at the same time. And so you can hear and see and feel things at one time and then be in a total place where you're by yourself another time, even though you're not really by yourself. So it seems like all of us were going through the same thing at the same time. So that makes it like a really special, unique location for me.
So I'm kind of surprised. I figured that the scientific community would have came up with a better name for the fear of dolls. It is pediophobia.
Oh,
To me, that makes it sound like you're scared of children,
yeah.
not dolls. I think we should petition to have it renamed to dollophobia.
Right.
But I'm one of those people, like dolls and clowns creep me out. Let that doll move in front of me. I'm probably going to have to pay some sort of fine for damaging hotel property because there would be no doll by the
And
end.
then use your therapy.
Yeah. F that doll is all I'm going to say. Amy's saying her son, had the same little dog, and she's like, it would randomly talk with no battery in it.
Mm-hmm.
It would say, "Peekaboo, I see you." So is that even something that dog is supposed to say?
I don't know, like, because there was different versions of them. I remember, like, over the years, like, new ones came out, and this one was old when we got it. And yes, ours would occasionally talk without batteries in it too. It started going off in the car one time. It was like just sitting in the car. We were like 2 hours into a drive, and all of a sudden it just starts talking. We're like, all right, hey.
I roll the window down, chuck it, roll my window back up. I don't need that in my life. I don't.
So the location this was tied to, I don't know if you want me to talk about that at all right now or just say that for a whole nother day. But this dog was actually sitting on a chair. It was in a school, and the whole chair slid, and the dog's head like swung around like this, and it goes, "It's learning time," again, like really, really loud, like not like the dog should be. But the fact that the whole chair, was like the metal and like, what are they, like the slate, like the stone, metal and stone old chairs that they probably don't even have anymore because they might hurt a kid. The whole chair slid across the hallway like a good few feet in front of a whole group of people. Me, and it was in the dark. I'm in the dark, but like nobody was like by the chair. We were just like standing there waiting for something to happen. So as most of ghost hunting is, right? You stand there, wait, get bored, eat some snacks, whatever. So this happened during all of that. There was bugs in there. There were things. If you know me, I am petrified of moths. I don't care about much else in life. I despise moths. Everybody screams, runs down the hallway. I'm standing there right next to them going, "Is it a moth?" And I have yet to live that down. Because here everybody's like, did you not see the doll move? Did you not see the chair go? Like it lit up, it swung its head, the whole chair moved, and like that didn't bother me. I'm like, no, that's normal. I grew up with that. I'm like, but I thought it was a moth. So
She's like, Mothman has left the chat.
right.
I mean, but would you be as afraid of Mothman since it's more human looking than a little fluttery thing?
It's even more freaking creepy. Humans are bad enough, moths are bad enough. You just stick it together, and it's like, what is that? Like, no.
I wasn't sure if the physical part of looking human would make it more okay. Just
absolutely not. Have you looked at humans lately?
Inquiring minds, just investigating.
Yeah. I did have a Luna moth on my door while I was in Maine, though, like just outside my door for the entire time that I was there. Not one other room had a moth or a bug, for that matter, and then just my camp. It was like a camp motel thing, which was really nice. But no other creatures, and anybody's saying just one right by my doorknob, and then it flew up and it was like right head level on one of the beams, like one of the wood beams that came off the hotel. I'm like, okay, thanks. Thank you for like literally making me face my fear, because I mean it was at the doorknob and right eye level when it decided to move, but it didn't go anywhere else. Yeah, no, thank you. You can tell me about it. I mean,
I'll go and let you know. And I want to go to the statue. I want to squeeze the cheeks because Mothman has a very, very nice butt on that statue. So have to go rub the cheeks. Eric asks, do you believe that portals allow spirits to be able to jump to different objects, or do you believe that they are more just attached to certain ones?
I believe definitely both. My experience, I should say, is definitely both, which doesn't mean it's everybody's experience. So there's, I guess, different levels of that, right? It depends on the spirit's type of communication. It depends on if they're really more of an entity or a spirit. Are they other planetary being, an alien, and attaching to things? So like things can choose to come here, right? But they can also be part of an item. Like, I don't really love this desk, but I mean, maybe if I die here, I decide I love this desk and I want to stay with it. I think I'd rather take a Mustang. Okay, I'm going to pick a Mustang just in case this happens, right? Setting my intentions in case I get attached to an item. I would like to be a 69 Mustang that I want to be attached to.
Go with a Viper.
I'm a Mustang.
Little. Go with the Viper if you're going.
You take the Viper, I'll take my Mustang. We're going to come back attached.
Right. Well, I'll wait for you at the end when you finally show up. Sorry, guys. This has turned into muscle car talk and debate. Anyway.
New show. I just, you got to be careful with your intentions, your manifestations there. So if I'm going to get stuck to an object, I want to make sure I'm clear about what I want it to be. I don't want to be Bob stuck in a skull head.
And you get me to carry you around all the time and forget to fill your tequila. I mean, just
yeah, it might not be that bad actually. Get my head rubbed, just but I think it really depends on the spirit themselves, the entity, where they're from, or the object. I mean, I do believe that some objects can be made. Okay, this is gonna be a whole other topic. Maybe not so much now, right? Where things are so manufactured and made in bulk. But like, I believe definitely more like handmade toys, handmade blankets, that kind of thing can definitely carry more of a spirit energy than, a mass manufactured item.
Now, Chair, she's like, I have a teddy since I was a baby, and I wonder if I transferred some of my soul into it, because I feel its presence, and it's just not a teddy now. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And when you are long gone, if your teddy has not disintegrated, because sometimes they unfortunately do that with age, that energy will definitely be there. We actually have an old doll crib in my parents' basement that every once in a while they're like, oh, we're going to throw that out. Like, you can do that, but you can call somebody else. So nothing harmful. I used to play with a little girl. When I was a kid, I used to play with her in our basement, and we had a finished basement. And so I'd play with her. That crib was there. My parents were like, I don't know, it just kind of came with the house. I'm like, cool, fine, whatever. And they're like, well, it's just clutter. We don't need it. I'm like, you're going to upset that little girl, because, she has crossed over, but she loves to still interact with people. Her dad actually built the house that we lived in, and I always just felt like so much pride for her that this is like the house that her dad built for them to live in, and she just loves that, right? And she's always like a lot of places when you've like remodeled something, they get upset. She always gets really excited. Like her energy like builds up when she's like, "Oh, we're working on something, yay!" Like it reminds her of her dad, who I've actually never seen in spirit, by the way. But she's around a lot. My parents are like, "Well, we should just get rid of this crib." I'm like, I don't recommend that. That might be the thing that like really sets her off. She likes having it there. That's part of her childhood. So it's just hanging up in the rafters in the basement now, but it's good enough for her. She's like cool with it, but her energy from playing with that her doll and her crib were like her toys. It was, back in the early 40s. So that, I mean, there wasn't a lot of toys like kids have now and disposable things, right? Like they treasured what they had. They played with them for many more years than what kids play with things for 6 weeks now. And so her energy is definitely in that crib, even though it's a good energy.
And as you're talking through that, I'm thinking what I feel or believe on that question. And I'm like, I don't know if it would necessarily be a part of a soul, maybe all the time, or if it's more of like just some of your energy and how to define how that's different than your soul, right? But it's kind of like if you were to pick up those that can do psychometry. It's like you pick it up and you might get flashes or little movies playing of the person who used to own that, and I don't interpret that as a soul. It's more of kind of like more like a memory, maybe.
Like energetic memory.
Yeah. So maybe Cherry, your teddy bear has those memories of your experiences and playing with it and having good times, or when having that bear soothe you. So those memories are built. But I wouldn't say that it's part of your soul.
Yeah, that's definitely a better way to explain it. It's like your soul, like your energy of your soul, like who you are, right? Like who you are in this lifetime, your soul energy, but it's not your soul itself. It's more the energy you put out there. So yeah, definitely good clarification there.
Because I'm like, how would I describe the difference? And it makes sense to more than just me. She's like, yeah, I totally feel that. It's full of dreams and tears and whispers and hopes. So yeah, that's adorable.
I still have one of mine too, and I will not part with him because he's been there for everything. So he just hangs out.
I used to have a blanket that I called my lion blanket. And this blanket went through everything with me as a child, through all of my medical bullshit, hospital stays. And I remember like I would wrap it over my finger and I'd sit and I'd rub it, and it was really, really soft. And my grandmother had to keep sewing backs on it because the lotions and medicines and stuff would deteriorate and she'd have to redo it. And at one point they tried to trick me and they bought a new version of it, looked exactly, and I knew the difference and would not take that blanket. So
my parents did the same thing to me. Like it's horrible.
And for the longest time into adulthood, I always kept that folded up underneath my pillow. And there is an ex-husband who felt it necessary to get rid of it, to be a dick.
Exes can be that way.
Yeah. I shall haunt them forever. When I'm not pushing pedophiles down the stairs in the Earthbound mob hit squad that I will be, leading. Like, oh, okay, there's nobody pushed down the stairs. Now I'm going to go haunt so-and-so for getting rid of my childhood blanket. Right. It probably had my scent on it and probably had like the hospital smells and everything else attached to it. But I called it my lion blanket because it had little lions and other animals, but I loved the lions on it. So it was my lion blanket.
Oh.
Yeah. They will pay dearly for getting rid of my blanket.
Mm-hmm. I would be the same way if somebody got rid of my stuffed gorilla. It's the same thing. He went to all the hospital things with me. He was there when I was sick, like all those. So he has all my things.
Right. There, somebody's going to take my blanket to somebody doing psychometry. It was like, it was a sassy lady who owned this. Yeah.
As you feel the blanket tightening around your neck.
Give it back. Eric asks, are you afraid that a spirit might attach to yourself going into places that have more interactions with one's aura? And how do you protect yourself from the attaching?
I do not, but that is a rational fear. Definitely. I know you're kind of in the same boat as me. So we just tend to be very protected. We do our own protection. We seem to be naturally protected. So usually if something happens, it's because we chose to like really, really work at sucking it all in and not pushing things away. So I don't know if you want to elaborate more on that part.
Yeah, I personally don't worry about that. If anything, my worry is ghosts don't like to play when I'm in the room. So they won't get close to me to attach and follow me home. The closest that I have had, and it was really, really interesting, is when I moved into this apartment. And if you scroll back far enough, how long have I been here now? 4 years. I did a live, our Woowoo Wednesday with Marianne way back when, and there was an old lady here who did not like how I was setting up the apartment, and this bitch felt necessary to turn on the gas burners on me. And so she was still keeping a distance. She would turn on burners when I'd be on the other side of the apartment, or like she wouldn't physically attach or attack me. She kept a distance. And in that live, there was also a young man who, if I remember correctly, Marianne City died from being hit by a train. Just one of those, like, let's see what I can do, still keeping a distance. So I took my Quincy off, stuck it above the door, and trapped him in here on purpose for an hour before I let him out. And there's like, go let him out. He's just standing there. She's like, I can see him, you know, because he could hear everything we were saying. But she's like, go let him out. He'll never come back in again. I'm like, well, of course, because there's, you know, a seed's going up there permanently, and screw him and that old lady. But like, that's the most I had. But nothing's ever followed me. And the fact that I guess she didn't like what cabinets I was putting what dishes or kitchen equipment in. She felt the need to turn on gas.
So lady that owned my house before me too, she was very persnickety about all that stuff. Like she's still mad at me for not putting carpet back in my house because I have all hard floors, and she's like still really upset about that. It's been 8 years. 8 years, and she's still not over the fact that I don't want carpet. So I have area rugs. We had a compromise. I even have an area rug on my front porch for this lady. Just
I was like, don't make me get the
whatever it takes, it's fine. It's okay. Like I understand I needed them too. I just was going with like easy to clean, allergy friendly type stuff. But cool. I'll have area rugs around just to keep the peace with the dead lady. Right. She did help me out. She told me when to buy my house. She told me how much to offer them. She was right about it all. So I'm not, if she wants area rugs in my house, I'll give her some area rugs.
You know, good compromise. Just don't trip on the corners. That's the only thing.
Well, it's funny you say that because I have one that won't stop rolling up, and it's actually in my healing room. And it doesn't matter what it is. And if I rotate the rug, it's still like the same. It just doesn't matter. I flanned it. I tried to tape it down. It just like lifts up. And I'm like, let's not trip my clients when they're coming here. Okay.
She's like, so we can embody inanimate objects with love from rituals. Like you're like, that makes them hold energy. Yeah. So, you know, maybe that's something to be mindful of for parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents. Like if you're giving a little something to a new little family member, like maybe spend time like holding it, hugging it, loving it, you know, before you give it. So you're giving that energy to, you know, that little person.
Well, and that's, I mean, kind of the concept of energy healing too, right? Like just this energy healing. You're holding it and you're infusing what needs to be infused into it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're leaving a healing thing for the person behind that's heartbroken when you leave. I mean, there's some people that if they left, we wouldn't be heartbroken, but that's another topic, another podcast. But yeah, you can definitely infuse, you can deliberately do that. I feel like some spirits do get attached to things not knowingly, right? If it's their vice basically in life or something that they really treasured, they don't necessarily know that they've attached themselves to it the way that they have. Whether it's just the energy that you're picking up or if they're kind of trying to make themselves a genie in a bottle, so to speak, where they're trying to like escape into that. So it can be deliberate or not so much, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, because we all hear stories about, you know, like older ghost ladies attaching to certain pieces of jewelry that maybe were handed down, and maybe that piece didn't get handed off, you know, before they passed, or maybe it did and they don't like who their son or daughter gave that piece to, like they're not worthy of that, you know, so they're hanging around, you know, causing trouble. Or, you know, guys with cars, and then you're gonna have Kayla in a car. I
really don't know why I started doing burnouts in the middle of the intersection. My car did it, so I'll be okay. Little ghost me.
I can't think of any particular object that I would want to be, willingly.
I'd rather just go to another planet. I don't want to be stuck here with anything for anything.
Yeah. And I joke and I'm like, if I'm going to hang around here after death before crossing over, Earthbound hit squad, take out pedophiles, rapists, blah, blah, blah. Create even more episodes of true crime of we don't know how this person died, but, they're gone. And suddenly the evidence was laid out on the kitchen table for us when we found the body.
Right. We took a lunch break, came back, and there it was.
A hole in the wall, and all of these videotapes or pictures, just of all of the crimes committed. And now the families, have what piece they can. But, I can't think of any object that is so precious that I just won't be able to leave. So I would be, when I get bored, doing what I do on, I'll just cross over, be done, go harass my son or other family members from the other side.
Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was on the top of your list.
And that's funny because she wasn't in the apartment when we were doing that one, we couldn't really ask her, but yeah, she's like, I wonder if she died by, the gas stove or maybe any gas stove. Because as far as I know, there hasn't been any fires in, this development. Right. But, ghosts wander everywhere. That whole saying, all ghosts are not trapped to the place they died. Right. I'm like, they wander and go wherever the hell they want. They choose to stay in a place, right. If they're there. But yeah, good question. So we went from the Knickerbocker to attachments to energy infusing and things. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions about paranormal or the Knickerbocker, because Kayla has been there, has some fun experiences.
I would let you know if she's still doing it. I really would, because it was a great place.
Yeah, it looks like it's still open and running, but it because they don't have a website specifically themselves, there's no info. Like you can't even find what their menu is. And everything that pops up on Google when you search them is everybody else's blog posts, everybody else's Facebook stories about having been there, or but there's Facebook stuff, pretty recently, so I'm assuming they're open. Whether or not they're doing the paranormal,
right? Don't
know. Couldn't tell you what their menu's like on a weekend.
We could meet. Go find out.
Not this week. I'm done with you. I got a doctor's appointment. I've got to load up one show that a friend is handling for me this weekend, a festival, and then later that evening, JD's swinging by to pack up his rack for something. Then I've got to load my car for a 2-day event up at the airport, and all today. And
fun. Glad I'm not you.
Yeah. Like Saturday might be my one day off. Because Sunday then is another show out at like Riverside, Lakeside Cemetery. They're doing an event. I hope it's not 1,000,000 degrees outside. So yeah, I am very much looking forward to Monday and doing nothing. And I hope I'm doing nothing. I'm like, as I say that, I'm like, watch there be another doctor's appointment Monday. I bet there is.
This whole, I thought I was winding down on mine. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, so not this week or weekend, Kayla. We have to plan.
Right.
Yay, Melanie. So she ordered new prints from the Bonaventure, so the nighttime pictures. Oh, cool. So I still have the other ones here, so we'll be able to compare them side by side. So I keep them safe in the Buble wrapped envelope, so nothing happens to them. Hello. And we can compare nighttime versus daytime photos. I still have yet to try and find the other photo album of some of those cemetery captures from the back 40 of Fort Campbell.
Are we not supposed to find our old paranormal photos? Because it's weird that you can't find yours and I can't find mine anywhere. It's like I know there's paranormal groups that have some of the photos that we all had together, and that was like part of the agreement, right? Because it was like under their name, whatever. So I'm good with that. But like, there's things that I had on my own or that I did, other places or before I started doing this stuff publicly, and I'm like, how are they just gone? Like, there's just no reason that this stuff's gone. So are we supposed to just move forward and just, things have changed for both of us, even since we've met each other, which was, well,
it's been a minute.
It's been like 10 years, right? Maybe more. It had to have been more because I've been in my house for 8 years.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Okay. It feels like 5. I'm like, no.
I don't know. Maybe like 13, 14 years. Do you think 13 years? Maybe. We're not that old.
I like the lies coming out of your mouth. I like that lie.
I don't do it often, but for our sake right now, we're just gonna go.
Lie to me more, woman. Lie to me more. I mean, if you have one, yeah, that way I can read up on it, maybe get some more history to help make talking about it more. If you have some other like cool experiences that have happened, you can write it on a piece of paper, stick it in the cover. One of these days, I like to travel around more and go see some cool stuff. And now, like, if I really cannot find those photos, it might be like, okay, road trip down in Kentucky. And then try to remember.
With me, right?
You can get to the back 40 without going on base and then go, I'm like, that might be a challenge.
It might have changed by now. That might be like.
Oh, yeah. Because this was like 20 years ago, because Rune was like baby Rune, and I'm sure it's a little different. It's a military base. They may not even let you over near there. But if you guys have any pictures you would like to share, and see what we maybe pick up on it, or experiences, it is a safe space. You can email pictures to info@goddesselite.com, and we'll put them up. We'll talk about them. If you would rather prefer to stay like anonymous, that you don't want me to say, hey, this is so-and-so, we'll leave your name out. We'll just put it up there, talk about the place, any history we can find, and go from there. Because I always like seeing stuff that the average public gets. Like, we all see in all the stuff that gets shown all over TV shows and those hyped up websites. Like, show me what the average person is getting.
Right. Well, it's hard, like, because we're so used to this stuff. A lot of times things happen and we're just like, oh, that's so normal. Like, to us, it's like a normal thing. So it's nice to see what other people get or acknowledge or experience, because we just tend to, I don't want to say block it out. There's times we tap into it more, but there's times we really do just kind of like, this isn't what we need to work on right now, so we don't pay attention to it. Or it just seems so normal to us, just like hearing a family member walk through your house, and we're like, oh, we heard this, but we're like so familiar with what it is, and it's not attached to us. It's just something that's coming through, and we're just like, yeah, okay, like, it's just normal to us. So it's nice to work with other people's things, so you have like a change of scenery, change of pace, kind of make us work on our things also, right? Like, to look into them. So just brushing things off for our own lives.
Right. And good point, Chair. She's like, or drop them in the Discord, so you can join the Discord. We have a whole paranormal channel about that, which, with Kayla's permission, I will put these 3 photos up in the Discord.
You can always use my photos.
But we've got channels for spell casting, little tarot divination, little rune divination. So there's a lot of fun stuff on there that you can come and do. There's a gaming one. So like at one point when Steam was having their sale, I'm like, ooh, what did everybody get? I got Cult of the Lamb and Little Nightmares 1 and 2. And, so if you enjoy gaming, but you're still in the woo-woo, interest, like, there are those of us that, are right there with you. So I think there's a crafting channel, which I need to do better on posting stuff that I'm making up there.
I didn't know you had all that, to be honest.
Huh?
I didn't know you had all that. I don't even use Discord, so I was like, ooh,
yeah,
it's like a whole catalog of things.
Yeah. Ash, one of my employees, does a great job helping keep that going and running. Or when I say, hey, I needed to do this, she finds a way to get it done. And Chair, like, did I do it correctly, Chair, to get you in there to help be like a moderator? I thought I did. Let me know if it didn't work. But oh yeah, don't forget the new moon peaks tomorrow. So if you are somebody that does the law of abundance check, that is the time to do it. So between midnight and whenever it peaks.
I can tell you in a second.
Yeah.
3:11 p.m.
Oh, so you got quite a bit of time. You don't have to set
the
an
peak of
alarm.
it is July 24th at 3:11 p.m.
Cool deal. Yay, Chair, we did it right. Woo.
Ooh, I don't know if is that focusing? Nope,
Kinda.
it's not focusing. Sorry. Trying.
So anytime from midnight tonight to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, write your law of abundance check.
Yes.
So, yeah, I need to do that. Yeah, you're right, Chair, on Twitch as well. Amy says, we see shadows in the kitchen out of the side of our eyes and hear footsteps upstairs, but no one's there. I'll tell the kitties hello. Mine's solar charging himself in the sun patch.
Mine is quiet, so he either destroyed something and is trying to get away with it, or he's stalking birds through a window. So,
what should Amy do with the stuff that she's got going on in her house? Because she's got a little grandson that's there a lot.
Do you not want them there? So that's a big thing, right? Do you want to know who they are? Do you not want them there? Like, there's kind of different. I guess I can open comments too, right?
Yeah, she's probably typing. It takes a minute to pop.
Okay. So the first thing I always go to for this, I'm going to do this as like a general thing, just for the sake that, try not to get too personal with people's things. A good place to start with that is figuring out if they're, family spirit, protective spirit that are around because they want to be part of your life, or are they something that's tied to the land, something that's tied to the home? And the big thing is, do you want to get rid of them? Even if they are family, do you want to get rid of them? So there's kind of different things, whether you're going to embrace them and so they can tone it down and know that they can communicate with you without being so like intense, or do you just want them to be gone altogether, regardless of who they are? So because the advice kind of varies based on that, and there are people that choose to keep the spirits in their house or are okay with them being there, and there's people that are just like, this is too much for me, I just don't want it there. It is difficult with kids though, because kids are little sponges and they tend to draw things in, good, bad, and otherwise. So kids tend to definitely be, a lot of times, are almost like little walking portals that just draw things in from different places and they just don't know it. So so the part for your dad, because I was picking up a male that passed there, but not, and it's sorry, I thought I knocked my camera over. So you do have the guy that passed there. I don't feel like he wants too much to do with your family, to be honest. I don't mean that in a mean way. He's just like, whatever, he kind of does not care. You do have other members of your family. I also see a younger male with your dad, but it does not feel like it's his child. It's just a younger male. And it feels like a relative of his that passed at a younger age. I'm feeling like around 40s is what they're showing me. So the two of them tend to come through together. Your dad seems to come more around, he seems a lot around for medical issues. So when there's things starting to amp up with things that aren't being, sorry, just reading the comment there. Okay, so you want to address this specific part of your grandson. So kids, how do I want to put this? Not everything that's scaring a child is going to be dark, negative, and harmful. I remember things that when I was a kid, my parents were like, that's just a nightmare, that's this. And then I learned that it was actually beneficial. So that's where it's important. It's hard to do something like this involved on a live show because there's so many different aspects to it. So I'm sure you can relate, Melissa. Like there's some things that are just So it's not going to be just one thing for your grandson. There's going to be multiple things, and the big thing that's scaring him is that he's feeling things. That's part of the being empathic and being in tune with things, is he's feeling things, and as little kids, they don't know how to express it. They don't know what it is. They don't know why it's not theirs, but they feel it. They don't know why they can see things they can't explain, and it becomes scary. So it doesn't necessarily mean that's an entity in a dark thing that's happening to him. It's a lot of emotion, a lot of feeling. There's times he's going to be crying because it's other people making him cry because he's picking up their emotions, something that happened to them. Okay. So I don't feel that he has anything harmful going on. I really don't. It's a lot for him. It's a sensory thing for him. He's getting a lot of things that he's picking up in emotions, and he doesn't know how to use his emotions for it. A lot of kids that have grown up are here that are just naturally intuitive and empathic. That's what happens. We've all been through that. And sometimes it really just means having to grow up with it and grow to understand it. You can't really shut that gift off. There's things you can do to work on toning it down, but there's going to be a lot of it that he's going to have to grow into kind of doing himself or learning what he wants and doesn't want. And there are actually quite a few autistic readers that are really great at tapping into spirit, and they tend to get overlooked because of the autism thing. But they tend to be more sensitive than your average child in general. There's things, I've worked with a few autistic clients. I usually do a back to school thing also to help balance their energy for them and mellow them down before they get put back into groups with people. Things tend to amp up for them when they're around groups of people, or when there's something coming back for, like a back to school thing. And so the energy, when their energy builds up, or their anxiety or their fear of something, it draws in more spirit things to that. It almost acts like a pump, if you will. It's pumping out energy for other spirit to draw into and feed off of, even if it's not a full attachment. So there's a very, basically the best thing to do would be tap into your grandson specifically and sort out each little piece of what's like working with him or coming through to him, because it's definitely not all harmful. It's just really intense, and he doesn't know how to express it or how to work with it. And it doesn't mean he does have to work with it either, but there's things that he's going to have to eventually do. Really, it's going to come down to some of the things that he's going to have to do, even if it involves help, to kind of like control this around him.
She's like, okay, good. Makes me feel better.
Yeah, I know it's hard because they can't tell you whether it's because of a disability or age thing. That kids can't tell us what's scaring them, and there are things that do happen to kids that are scary, right? But a lot of times it just is that emotional thing that they don't know how to, kind of like, think about like us when we're, PMSing. We don't know why we're crying and yelling, but we are. So in a sense, it's kind of like that. There's emotions and feelings going on that they don't understand, they don't control, and they're not really theirs, and they don't know how to express it. So it's just coming out how it comes out.
Maybe too, when he's a little older, because he just turned 6. If he is okay and open to it, maybe helping him, explore any psychic stuff, abilities that he has, to where it gives him that control back. So would help reduce like that startledness, that overwhelming, that, feeling of when, some random, earthbound pops in, or, family member from the other side is like, hey, and he's like, shit, warn me next time.
Right. Or even in a store, right, where they're picking up something that happened, if you're out in public, or if you're at a restaurant and they're picking up somebody's heart attack or something, right? Like, he's not almost to tell you that, I'm experiencing a heart attack, but he might be sensing that and be like, why does my chest hurt? What's going on? I don't know how to express this. It happens suddenly. So it's going to be a lot of asking, how do you feel? What are you feeling? What are you picking up? Like, basically working through it, like if you were trying to sort out, like, almost like a game, like I don't know what I'd want to relate it to. But kind of like just picking your pieces and figuring out, like, kind of guiding him. Like, do you see a color with it? Do you smell something with this? Like, what are you sensing? What part of your body are you feeling this in? because a lot of times at a young age or with autism, things are going to come through as anger and sadness. Even if it's a joyful thing or an intense thing, they just kind of, that's the emotion that comes out.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, hopefully that'll help help him. I feel sorry. I'm like reading over here, doing this, typing this.
It's like, honestly, one of the worst things to do is tell them that it doesn't exist and it's okay that it's not there. Because it is.
Yeah.
Many of us have been told that by our parents or grandparents, like, it's not really there. It's okay. It's not going to hurt you. And that's not necessarily the case. There are those things sometimes. But a lot of times there are things going on that do need to be addressed. And once they're addressed, there's so many times that once something is addressed, the spirit's like, okay, thanks for acknowledging me. See ya. And they just leave. They're done. They just want to be acknowledged. So it literally can be that simple. But it's going to take you finding all those puzzle pieces, kind of like a scavenger hunt, right? And putting it all together. I guess that's the best way to relate it, is a scavenger hunt and finding all those little parts and what do you get at the end. But it's going to be your work of being like, okay, what do you feel here? What do you feel? Do you only feel it in this room? Is there a color? Is there a smell? Is what part of your body hurts? It's going to be your work to do that at this age.
Mm-hmm. All right. Wow. It's already after 11. This was fun.
We both have exciting days ahead of us.
I'm already tired. Here we are. Second cup of coffee of Death Wish coffee. Highest caffeine content in coffee.
If we want to wonder what's really going to be attached to Melissa's things when she gone, it's caffeine. Somebody's going to pick up your items and be like, caffeine.
If you want to summon me later, get a Keurig, some coffee, maybe a little bit of yarn. I might show up.
Like a yarn bowl, caffeine in it, like a catnip toy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, crochet me a catnip toy, but filled with coffee beans or espresso beans. And
you got it. I'll remember that.
Like, I see you have made a token. Which but yeah, guys, if you have any last minute questions, be it about the Knickerbocker or just paranormal things in general, now's the time to ask. Otherwise, we will be, hopping off here because we both have very busy days. And need to go do the mundane, non-paranormal stuff.
The human stuff, those kind of things.
Yeah. But this was fun.
You know what's funny? This has become like the most relaxing part of our Wednesdays. At first I was like, oh no, I'm adding something else in. And I'm like, no, she's making me sit for an hour. That's kind of good. I need to just not for an hour.
Yeah,
so thank you all.
Yeah, and talk about stuff that you actually have an interest in. And that's not, stressful, other stuff. I will say last night, we did like an episode of the Healer's Corner, and we had Laura and Matt Sliss of 111 Paranormal talking about auras and keeping them healthy in the paranormal. And I kind of pitched it out, like if they would want to join us one morning.
Yes, please.
They're a very cool, relaxed, level-headed husband and wife team. I've seen their work.
It really is paranormal.
Yeah. And like, they're very like low key. They try to debunk everything first before they label everything, paranormal and, look how psychic I am because I found this. It's like, nah, like your door's not hung level. That's why it's creaky,
And that's me and you, right? We're the ones that are always like,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. Chair's like, what is the oldest ghost? And did Kayla ever meet a really old ancient ghost? Like, what's the oldest entity you've seen?
Oh, I don't know. So, as far as entities, there's not really time. This is like a big topic, right? There's not really time for a lot of these things. So, like, hello, oops, Sri Lanka.
Right.
So there's not really time. So like the age for these, like what our 40 years might only be a day, or it might be 400 years for something. So I have met some really old things, but is it old Earth time the way that it came through, or is it old based on where it's from? So that's a really loaded question, to be honest. Let's see, I'm trying to think of the oldest I would have met, because I mean, if you work with archangels in their like ancient form, that's like before Earth creation type thing. A lot of planetary beings are way before Earth. So I feel like anything that's tied to like more of Earth faith, Earth experience is definitely like a newer, like those are things that came here from other planets, other realms, other dimensions when Earth was made. So I would say those would be the youngest of the things, even if they're old as far as we're concerned. They're youngest as far as realms, dimensions, planes, planets, galaxies, that kind of stuff. So that's a pretty roundabout answer, but if there's not really time, we don't really have age. Like, are we really, like me and Melissa are both our human ages here, but our bodies are probably about 500 inside. So we're just stuck in these shells that look much younger than than they are.
I don't know about you. I'm starting to show some age here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this blinding light coming in that I don't know how that happened. But I mean, it helps because it's like whiting out everything that you can't see in my face. So I don't know. It also makes me look like a ghost. So
appropriate for Wednesday morning woo-woo talk.
Right.
So,
and then there's the debate that I've had a few times with people, not really a debate, conversation, of if you have near-death and death experiences, does that reset your age to an extent, or does it expedite your age to an extent? Does it change what you come perceived as? Like, if somebody was going to read me remotely, would I come off as like 200 years old because of what my body's been through and like how many past lives I've had, or do I come through as my age here? So age is a pretty tough thing.
I would think that maybe Earth-wise, if you take out anything alien, and I'm going to lump angels as aliens because technically,
Yes.
by the definition, they are.
Yes.
I would say the oldest things would be your nature divas. They
spirits, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing though, I have yet to meet a psychic medium who, when they see like even like the ghosts and stuff or spirits of animals, I'm like, so why has nobody seen a dinosaur ghost or a dinosaur spirit?
So it's funny you say that. My first past life regression that I did, and I used to have dreams about this when I was a kid. It's a weird thing, right? All of us being weird children. I remember in school getting so excited that we were learning about amoeba. I was like, amoeba! I've been waiting for this. And I was like so excited because I used to have dreams of being this like little thing floating in water and remembering a dinosaur eventually one day, just like drinking out of the water, but like not seeing the whole dinosaur, just like the nose and the mouth in the water, right? And I was just this little thing floating around. And I remember as a little kid and the teacher's like, why do you even know what amoeba are? And I was just like almost obsessed with them. And I thought they were just so great. These little single cell organisms, right? Just floating around in water on Earth. And that definitely came up. I never told the person about that I was doing I never really told anybody about the hypnosis thing. And they're like, so I was talking about what I was seeing and feeling, right? If you've ever done hypnosis for that kind of stuff. And I was talking about being an amoeba and floating and how nothing hurt in my body because I didn't have anything in my body. There wasn't bones and joints and like all the stuff. I was like literally a single cell thing. And I'm like, oh, I miss those days. And like the way I said it, like actually kind of became like a joke after because I was so like, you're in the hypnotic state, right? And I was like, oh, I miss those days. Like just so like nostalgic about the day when I didn't have any things in my body, right? But I remember the dinosaur drinking out of the water and looking up at it.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, so where are the dinosaur ghosts? Where are the dinosaur spirits?
I'll take them all. I love the dinosaurs.
They were here. We have proof they were here. There's, science. So it's like, where are their spirits?
We have a mutual friend who I see as a dinosaur, right? I see as a stegosaurus. We won't name names, but like I can't unsee him as a stegosaurus. Like I just don't. I'm always going to see him that way. So it's not really a spirit, but it's a past life thing.
Mm. And one theory, like I even asked Marianne, I'm like, was the impact implosion from that asteroid meteorite so harsh, powerful? Like, did it create like that white light gateway and just took them all in one mass?
There's not like, I mean, those are past lives, which is very different from a spirit thing. Two very different things.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, past lives aside, where are the dinosaur ghosts? Where are the replays of a dinosaur? And
could you imagine just like stepping out? Like you're used to like spirits moving stuff in your house or like hitting you with things. Could you imagine getting stomped on by a dinosaur walking out your door? So,
Yeah, your phone being picked up by a brontosaurus mouth, like, come on, give it back. Maybe it's a good thing they're not out here messing with people. Um, but yeah, that was always one of those, like, okay, I accept and believe and honor all like a good majority of how the paranormal works. Except that I'm like, why is that not a thing? And it
but
was
if you
actually
think
my
about
friend Nikki who first was like, where are the dinosaur ghosts? And I'm like, oh, you're
it,
right.
if you think about everything that's involved in a clearing, there's like core things that kind of overlap no matter how you do them, right? Like we both do house clearings and space clearings, whatever, very differently. But there's core things that like overlap. So if you think about what happened then when the dinosaurs met their demise, it involves a lot of the things that we would use now for a clearing.
And, as we're saying that, I'm like, so who is seeing the ghost of the cavemen running around? I have yet to meet anybody say that too.
So did you ever see that thing about, this is a whole other topic, because can you marry a caveman? But they didn't really have anything. Because there's that lady that married a pirate. I believe she was in Florida, and she married a pirate that was like a couple hundred years old, and then she was able to get his inheritance. I'm like, what? I don't have to have a human. You're telling me I can marry a ghost? So, I mean, there's things like that. I don't know.
That's kind of a cool way to think of it. It's
Yeah.
like, I think because they didn't have egos, dogs and cats develop egos being around humans. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, it's interesting. Like, these are the more fun things I like to think about in my downtime instead of work stuff.
We should just do a whole episode on these things, like the mystery things, instead of like so much paranormal. Let's just talk like, because we both actually have to get going. But like we should do a whole episode and just all these like make a list of these questions for us, and let's all and like what other people's inputs are too. Because it'd be really interesting. That's one thing. Like me and you have a lot of similarities, but we also have a lot of differences that we respect, and it's really cool to hear like each other's thing and like build off of that, or like even know that, oh, okay, I saw this time, but the next time I see it or experience it, it might be the way you did, and that's really cool. So I like hearing from other people, including our guests, not just you.
Yeah. Hey, no, my ego now hurts. No, I'm kidding. I like it when other people help contribute because,
yes, people do.
I worry about being monotonous and boring for you guys. So, like, I genuinely welcome you guys sending us ideas, experiences, pictures.
We didn't do this to be like about us, like ever. Actually, that's kind of like both of ours, like kind of thing. I don't want to say a fear, right? But it's like a thing like that we just don't want things to be about us and be the center of it. So we would really love people to interact more and have your experiences
honestly,
and situations.
You go introvert. Like, I don't do this get on here to be like, look at my face on the camera.
And you've been trying for how many years to dig me out of a shell to do this, and you finally sucked me into it. So yeah, so we would love to have
you do it, and I'm going to drag you kicking and screaming.
She pried me out, dragged me, tied me up with a chain, and that's where I am every Wednesday now.
Right. So if you have, ideas like when it comes to the mysteries or things that you've always wondered about and, you haven't seen it talked about yet, or again, personal experiences. And if you would like to stay anonymous in your submission, just let me know. We won't name names on it. Because this is a safe space to share, to learn, to meet other people from across the world, because we have a friend with us from Sri Lanka. And yay. So like how does that work? And then it could even be comparisons of like certain types of paranormal activity, in one country versus another, and how is that perceived, how is it welcomed or not? And this is a safe space for everybody, and we really welcome and enjoy when you send us things, just to keep it creative and welcoming and what you really want to hear about. So
we're just here for you guys. This isn't supposed to be the Kayla and Melissa show at all. This is supposed to be like, all inclusive kind of thing.
Yeah. So, please feel free to send in stuff, to help keep it interesting. But I know we both have busy days, and here very shortly, I need to be on the road to one of my things to do. So we thank you guys for joining. We do these like almost every Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are so able and inclined and would like to join us next week, we say welcome preemptively. And
Bring your coffee, bring your biscuits, whatever you're.
yes. So
Questions and topics.
yeah. Come hang out, come talk, come learn, come, and pick our brains and meet new friends in different chats. We stream this on our Twitch, our Facebook, and our YouTube. So if you are on different platforms and you want to meet the people over there, by all means, go join. Everybody's friendly. I do not tolerate jerks on any of our social media. And we have our Discord that you can share stories and meet other people. There's a lot of us in that Woowoo that we do a lot of other things, gaming, crafting, spell casting, all of that. So, but we hope to see you guys next week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Oh my God.